Well, the latest is, we signed and contracted to do a rematch, and that's what it is right now.
Do you know when it's going to be, when we can hear?
I don't got no date right now, but I know that's the next fight that Terence Crawford.
How long do you think it will be before we have some news about that?
I don't know. It's still up in the air, given the
first male boxer, undisputed, in any division in the 4-belt era, and I honor, that, and if he was to come to me or activate his.
It could happen. Why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So I'm with it. So I'll be going for Bud. If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him.
Then Spence's health issues slowed things down. He had eye surgery, needed time to recover, and people doubted if he'd return to top form. While Spence was dealing with that, Crawford moved on. He won another title at 154 by beating Israel Madrimov. When reporters asked Crawford about a rematch, he barely responded. Nah, he said, ending the talk. At that point, it looked like the rivalry was finished for good.
I wanted to see that immediately after that fight, but now time has kind of ran its course. I don't want to see Errol. I just don't want to see Errol get done like that again. That's all. And I believe Errol Spence is a generational talent, great fighter.
Crawford and Spence have never been the type to hold back.
But now, everything is changing fast. Crawford isn't fully rejecting the rematch anymore. Spence is turning up the heat, calling him out whenever he can. Many fans say Spence deserves another shot and believe the weight cut really hurt his performance. Others say that's just an excuse. He was outclassed and nothing will change no matter the weight.
But you gonna knock my first?
Because I don't want us personally, we talking about what we want to see. I don't want to see it. Because I know what it's gonna look like. The same as it looked last time.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Errol Spence wasn't the same.
What was wrong with him?
He looked slow. He looked he looked sluggish.
Why?
I can't tell you. I wasn't in camp.
At the division, he dominated for his entire career. All of a sudden, when it came time for this fight, he looked different. Why?
I wasn't in camp with him. I can't tell you. I don't know if his body finally broke down for being at 147.
Spence is taking it personally. He's accusing Crawford of avoiding him, acting like the fight never happened just because Crawford won. But Crawford isn't staying quiet. He's saying Spence had his chance and was completely outboxed. According to Crawford, Spence didn't even look like he belonged in the ring that night.
The fight can't be made, but weight can't be used as an excuse and sort of say, I don't feel like it. Like, I'll go up to for this guy, but not another guy. So, that's sort of the spirit. The language is very, more precise and very definitive. But the concept is, out of fairness, is, let's not be selective.
Now, both fighters are making it clear they're ready for war. Spence says Crawford has never fought him at full strength and that he'll prove everyone wrong. Crawford is nearly laughing at the idea that things could be different. He thinks Spence is overrated, predictable, and says if they fight again, he'll beat him even faster. The trash talk is heating up, and with both fighters admitting that talks are real, this rematch seems closer than ever.
I truly believe that the fight would have went that way regardless, because stylistically, the fundamentals on that level, Crawford just outclasses Errol Spence in every single category.
But this trash talk is already shaking the sport. Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson have always been close, sharing years of respect and mentorship. Now their opinions about Errol Spence Jr.'s legacy are putting them on opposite sides. Crawford, never afraid to speak his mind, has dismissed Spence's Hall of Fame chances. Stevenson, one of boxing's rising stars, strongly disagrees. Their split is sparking debates among fans, analysts, and even fighters about what really makes a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, 54 or 47, but I'm sure he probably gonna push the weight up, but there's gonna be no change in the decision. The performance still is gonna be the same. It might be even a little bit better. So he might want to watch out before he activate the rematch clause.
Crawford caused the controversy during an episode of the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. When asked about Spence's legacy, Crawford said he doesn't think Spence qualifies for the Hall of Fame. His reason? Spence only fought in one weight class. While Crawford praised Spence for unifying 3 welterweight titles and beating top fighters like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, and Yordenis Ugas, he believes it's not enough. To Crawford, a Hall of Famer is someone who wins titles in multiple weight classes and proves their greatness in different divisions.
Let's go! As you can see, man, breaking news, Errol Spence then activated that rematch clause to fight Terence again, right? Let's be honest, we all saw the fight. Crawford beat boogers out that boy.
That statement caught the boxing world's attention. Crawford didn't just question Spence's career, he shut down any debate about his legacy. Fans and experts reacted quickly. Some said Crawford was being disrespectful, while others thought he was just being honest. But the most surprising response came from Shakur Stevenson. In an interview with the Best Women's Boxing Show, Stevenson disagreed with Crawford. "I think Errol had a great career," he said. "If it wasn't for Bud, he would have been undisputed. He got every belt one by one." Stevenson's comments challenged Crawford's view, offering another angle that respects Spence's accomplishments before their fight.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that. Because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he didn't got right now.
Crawford set this controversy in motion during an appearance on the Pound for Pound podcast.
Stevenson's stance highlights an ongoing debate in boxing's Hall of Fame talks. Do achievements in many weight classes define greatness, or can a fighter earn respect by ruling just one division? Stevenson clearly thinks Spence's control of 147 pounds is enough, but Crawford doesn't agree. To him, being a unified champ in one division, even with Spence's record, isn't enough to be remembered forever.
You discredit one of the best wins on your resume. It starts to make people look at your resume with a question mark. Terence Bud Crawford.
The tension between Crawford and Stevenson might not be a full argument, but it's definitely causing waves. Their friendship has always been based on mutual respect, but this is one of the few times they've publicly disagreed on something big. Stevenson isn't just a random fighter giving his view. He has trained with Crawford, learned from him, and looked up to him for years. So the fact that he openly disagrees with Crawford says a lot. It also brings up questions about how this could affect their friendship in the future.
Terence went on Pound for Pound podcast and he said that Errol Spence will not be a Hall of Famer. Can you just give me your thoughts on that?
I disagree.
You disagree? Why do you disagree?
I feel as though Errol had a great career. If it wasn't for Bud, he would have been undisputed. So he went and got every belt one by one by one. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Adding to the heat, Hall of Fame talks are often political. Spence's case is already dividing opinions in boxing's inner circle. Some say his comeback after a life-threatening crash and defending his titles adds to his case for the Hall. Others feel Crawford is setting a risky standard by downplaying fighters who only ruled one division, especially when many legends made their names staying in just one weight class.
His run was long enough, no Diddy, to automatically put him in the Hall of Fame. He was a very good fighter. If there was a
Spence hasn't responded publicly to Crawford's comments yet, but it's clear he wouldn't be happy. He's always been proud of what he's done in the ring, and being dismissed so quickly by Crawford is likely fueling his fire. Some say he might use all this as extra motivation if they fight again, to show he's not just good, but one of the greats, a real Hall of Famer, no matter what Crawford says. This debate isn't going away. Fans, fighters, and experts are all taking sides. Is Crawford just being honest, or is his rivalry with Spence making him unfair? Is Stevenson right to defend Spence, or just trying to be polite? The boxing world is watching, and as the drama continues, one thing is clear. This isn't just about Hall of Fame votes. It's about pride, legacy, and earning respect in one of the hardest sports on earth.
Hall of very good, he would be going into that, but Hall of Fame, no. If you were in charge of writing the Hall of Fame speech for Errol Spence, and I was in
But if anyone's Hall of Fame spot should be doubted, it's not Errol Spence Jr., it's Terence Crawford. Forget the hype and the polished legacy his team pushes. The real story is plain. Crawford isn't chasing greatness, he's chasing paydays. That's why fans, other fighters, and critics are now asking if he truly deserves a place in boxing's Hall of Fame. Crawford's own trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, keeps trying to sell the idea that the Canelo-Alvarez fight isn't about money. But come on, who are they kidding? Crawford is jumping 2 weight classes to face boxing's top moneymaker. Not because it helps his career, but because the Saudi money is too good to pass up. If legacy really mattered to him, he'd stay at 154, dominate the division, and maybe unify again. But he barely got past Israel Madrimov, and after that, it became clear Crawford won't run 154 like he did 147.
Charge of right, a Hall of Fame speech for Bud Crawford. My Hall of Fame speech, listing my credentials, listing my accolades for Bud Crawford would sound a lot better than your speech for Errol Spence, bro. Yeah, I don't think unifying and holding 3 titles automatically push you in the Hall.
The younger, hungrier fighters at 154 were waiting for him, but Crawford avoided them. He found a shortcut, the biggest payday in the sport. And that Madrimov fight, fans saw the truth. It wasn't like how he destroyed Spence. It wasn't a flashy, dominant performance. It was a tough, close fight, maybe even a draw. And Madrimov, while solid, isn't even the top dog in that division. If Crawford struggled with him, why is he jumping to 168 to face a veteran champ like Canelo?
It's up to him. He gave me that opportunity to fight him. It's only right that if that's what he want to do, I'll give it back to him. Outside of him, I was definitely looking for that Jamel Charlo fight, but they just stripped him for the WBO. So now it's going to be kind of hard, becoming a 3-weight world champion if he don't come back and, fight Tim Tszyu and be successful after his fight with Canelo.
And maybe that's fine. Maybe Crawford should get paid. He's worked hard, stayed unbeaten, and now wants to cash out. But let's not pretend it's about anything more than money, and let's not pretend a career like this guarantees a Hall of Fame spot. If anyone's place deserves real debate, it's Crawford's, not Spence's. But what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.